Number of times as best player, 6. Oh, look at that. Number of times best in squad, 91.
Oh,
Number
there it
of
goes.
times as best player, 6. Oh, look at that. I
that
didn't know
was-
they did all that. That's
I
good.
didn't know
Best
that
in
either because,
squad,
and it showed
91.
me
Oh, there it
because
goes.
I pulled up Dead
As
Rising
best
on my
player,
end. 'Cause I was
6.
I was really-
Look at that. I
that
didn't know
was-
they did all that. That's
I was
good.
really
I
curious
didn't know
curious
that either
on
because
how many.
it
showed me
Oh, there it goes.
how many
whatchamacallit,
on my end.
how many
Six.
zombies I killed
I
in
was
Dead
really-
Rising 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 326,000 zombies. I am 200,000 above the next person. I really like
That's
that game.
ridiculous. So I'm comparing my Battlefield 4 stats to you. You have way more gamer score. You have way more achievements. You have 20 days, almost 21 days. You are 10 minutes away from 21 days.
I know. I'm aware.
That is dumb.
That's your life, and it's
Game
Donnie-
progress.
going away one match at a time.
Donnie, I think, has more time than I do.
Number of times as best player. Ooh, I've got you outpaced there. Very
Okay,
close
let's,
to number of times.
Let's do this, guys. We're up and live now.
Yippee skippy.
So for realsies now. 3, 2.
No,
No.
I don't care.
Oh God.
3, 2.
I can't see what you're saying.
1 up. Oh, gotcha. All right, I see where this is going. 3.
Oh, wait, I'm combative as shit. You have no idea.
We haven't even started talking
Can we
about the game
swear?
yet.
Can we swear in this, guys?
No.
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 Fuck!
All right.
All right.
3,
Out.
2, 1. Welcome back to TVGP's Game Club Cast, where folks from the TVGP.tv forums get together once a month, talk about a community-voted game. Think of it like a book club for games that you get to vote for. As always, well, not as always, as recently, I'm the host, the other JZ, and with me today is Nintendork.
Hello.
And the winner, or rather the person who decided to subject us to this horrible, horrible fate, Knobs.
Oh.
All right,
This is
see,
a
I'm
fight
not
where
that deep.
It's on. Let's
I'm
go.
not that deep. I am not as deep as Jake. You're on your own there, Jake.
Well, I played it more, so I was exposed to it more.
I don't know if you played it more. How far did you get?
I finished chapter 8 because it was
Okay.
You guys
almost
didn't
halfway.
even finish the game. It's like 5 hours.
Yeah,
Can we talk about what game it is first,
and it wasn't.
and then we'll yell at each other?
It wasn't
Oh
short
my-
enough. All right,
It wasn't.
so we had a couple of other games that were up for voting this month. Tom Diggity Tom suggested Shadow of the Colossus, and the Nimp had Deadly Premonition. That does not sound right. Is that right? Oh yes, I was thinking
It
of
was.
next month's games. Asura's Wrath took it away. 12 votes to the next closest was 5.
We all know why
Game's
it won,
awesome.
right? It won because Knobs put it up, not because it was a game everybody wanted to play.
It's a game everyone should play.
I would agree with that. That way you know where you stand next time it comes up on a regular show. Yeah, I mean, I voted for it. I have heard you talk about
did
it so
too.
much that I went, all right, I'm not going to play this in my own volition, so I'll roll with this, and we'll... Nope.
Roll with it to the point you didn't even finish it.
I hated it. All right,
We'll get into that.
All right.
So I have
Before
to do-
derailed the show here. Let's get going. Come on.
I took the summary again, like we do, and man, if you thought Remember Me's was weird, this one's a little longer and even crazier. And it'll give you a real good idea of what I didn't like about this. Here we go. Asura's Wrath is the tale of the demigod Asura, one of the 8 guardian generals who protect the Shinkoku Tristrium from the evil Goma on Gaia. After scoring a decisive but temporary victory against the Goma's Vitra, Asura is summoned to Emperor Strata's throne room. However, when he arrives, he discovers the Emperor has been murdered, and Asura is framed for the crime. After
Okay,
escape-
so far so good. So far so good.
Okay. After escaping the Imperial forces, he rushes home to his family only to find his wife Durga murdered and his daughter Mithra kidnapped. In a rage, he attacks his former allies and comrades, the other 7 Guardian Generals, who have his daughter imprisoned. Okay.
So far so good.
When Asura learns that the top general, Deus, is responsible for the coup, he attacks but is quickly defeated and thrown to Gaia below, and as he falls, Asura swears his vengeance. 12,000 years later, Asura awakens in the Narakan underworld, and with the aid of the Golden Spider, Asura climbs out of hell only to find that the once green, fertile lands on the surface have become a barren waste. The 8 Guardian Generals have used Mithra, his daughter, remember, to become gods, and have renamed themselves the 7 Deities, and that humans are being slaughtered for their mantra, like their soul, under the belief, their soul power, whatever, under the belief that their souls will ascend to heaven. Determined to have his revenge and save Mithra, Asura's wrath will not be sated until the job is done.
Good premise. Nothing to complain about there.
It's a lot of proper nouns. And odd words, like stuff I'm not used to hearing.
So now you're critiquing the English. All right, go ahead.
So yeah, that's the premise.
The premise is pretty easy. The guy gets his family killed, and he goes out for revenge. That's pretty much what this game is.
If fighting a bunch of gods, and as you can probably guess, it was a divisive game. The people who loved it, and the people who did not. And somehow it ends up with a Metacritic of 71 and pretty much the same on game rankings. Brad Shoemaker, Giant Bomb, he loved that it was over the top. He said the sheer craziness isn't enough. It's also about the way the craziness is presented. The visuals have a tremendous scale, and the action is masterfully framed by someone who really knows how to work a camera angle. Can't argue with that. And then Giancarlo Veronini from GameSpot called the reliance on QuickTime events uninspired and a distraction, while also being critical of the difficulty of the combat, saying there's no challenge, no enemies that put up an engaging fight, it's all very safe. I don't disagree with any of that. What did you guys play on?
I played on 360.
Yeah, I was on the 362.
Okay, what about difficulty?
I think I played normal.
Yep.
Okay.
But there was almost no need.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you think it changed the QuickTime events or anything?
I don't know.
The only change on hard.
And how did they change? Did they take the bars away or something?
No, they change in the fact that you can actually fail them.
Oh, yeah. I tested that out towards the end when I knew I was packing it in with this game, and it was just like, okay, you lost some points. So, all right. So we'll do the time warp real quick here, and then I'll let you do an opening statement before we start screaming at you, Nubs. The stuff that came out
at me, I'm screaming at you. You guys can't outweigh my voice, man.
Stuff that came out around here. There's not a bunch of awesome stuff. I mean, Asura's Wrath sold 630,000 units, which was better than Remember Me. You got Capcom again behind them, new IP. So, January through March 2012, you have Amy. You guys remember that one?
Nope.
Oh yeah.
Where you have the little girl and you gotta run her through Zombieland because it's basically one long escort mission. So I'm sure everyone hated that. Amy, Sonic 4 Episode 1, Final Fantasy 13-2, Soul Calibur 5, Darkness 2, Crusader Kings 2, Twisted Metal, Syndicate, Alan Wake American Nightmare, Silent Hill Downpour, which I don't follow that series. Is that one any good?
I don't either.
Silent Hill.
I didn't think they were any good past the first one.
Mass Effect 3, Ninja Gaiden 3, Tropico 4, and Bioshock 2. So,
Wait. You're saying you like Mass Effect 2?
No, Mass Effect 3 came out around then.
Oh, no, I know that, but I thought Scott just said he didn't like anyone past the first one.
Silent Hills.
Silent Hill.
Oh, okay.
So that's everything that came out. I mean, it's a bunch of games that are sort of niche, aside from, like, Bioshock. I don't know. I mean, there's nothing huge on here that really jumps out to me.
Well, Syndicate, you guys hated that one, too. You guys, I feel like you guys lead such a horrible life. Like, you cannot have any fun.
I liked a lot of stuff about Syndicate.
Just because we don't like the games you like.
Oh, come on. Oh, I can't wait for this conversation. Let's go. Come on. Let's go.
Right, do it.
Knobs, go for it.
First hour. What did you like about this game, Knobs?
Everything!
Okay.
Everything. This game... Yes, I love everything about this game. I love the look. I love the music. I love the whole premise. It's like Shadow of the Colossus without all the BS.
Was there a lot of climbing?
Wait, what BS was there in Shadow of the Colossus?
The climbing.
That was the entire game.
Yes,
So how is this like that, except with the entire game?
it's awesome. Is the difference?
Well, I mean,
Come on, just embrace your inner like 14-year-old. Just let loose that teenage angst.
well,
It
here,
is the best
So-
thing in the world.
but you love anime, and
do.
this is basically anime turned into a game.
I will say something good about Asura's Wrath right here. It made me realize how much I miss watching anime.
Well,
It's
see,
probably been a decade maybe since I actually watched anything that was anime related. And playing this game, I realized, oh man, I've missed out. I really need to go back and watch more anime.
yeah, you were Knobs. You were talking about unleash your inner 14-year-old. I've never liked anime ever. It's just it was never hooked me when I was young. I mean, Akira, it was okay. Like the sort of animated for
I didn't,
all.
get, I didn't get
what-
an anime
what
until I was in my
movie was that?
20s.
Akira.
You
Akira.
mean Akira?
Akira. Yeah, Akira.
It's Asura, Asura, Akira, whatever. I've never
So
been
that's
into
the thing
any
though.
of it.
If you don't like anime, you don't have a prayer of liking this game.
No, and the thing that probably more or less drew me to this game is this is essentially like Berserker mode, Berserk. Like the characters are eerily similar, not just in look alone, but just their crazy focus and driven, and I really like that.
Well, and I guess I can't. If I had to say something nice about this game, it's that it does seem to do exactly what it set out to try and do. I just hate all of that stuff. Like, I don't like the over-the-top. I mean, a little bit's funny. Like when Shadows of the Damned did it, it made me laugh. Aside from all the wang jokes and stuff. When something's huge for the sake of being huge, I feel like these guys took themselves too seriously, which is what anime's supposed to do, and I just don't like it.
What? Well, I don't.
Oh man,
See, I'm on Knob's camp now here. I don't know what you just said.
I don't
because to me-
understand what he said either.
It was exactly what anime is.
But doesn't
I mean-
anime, like,
That's not my criticism on it. That's not my knock.
doesn't anime take itself very seriously?
No,
No, not all anime. There is some that is, this is art and higher than thou type of thing. But that's not most of it.
no. This game set out to sell a crazy story where you get to punch gods in the face,
Well, it's,
and it delivers.
I guess when my beef is Bayonetta, you got to do the same thing, except Bayonetta was fun and controlled well and had good combat.
It's a different game. It's a different style of game. If you're looking for a depth in combat, this isn't it. There is a deeper facet to the actual mechanic, or the fighting mechanic in this game, but it's really hard to learn. Like there's a whole counter system that you can implement, and recoveries. All this stuff is doing to build your burst meter to get to the point where you do something awesome, and you're involved in the awesome. I would rather be involved with a quick time event than sit there and watch a cutscene.
I would rather have a good fight where you're in control the whole time and not have to worry about being involved in the cutscene because you actually done it yourself. It seemed very.
Well,
It's
that's
the same thing.
It segued into one of my complaints, which is it felt like I would do a battle, and I would only be doing the battle to build up the burst meter to hit the win button.
Yes.
I felt like my R trigger was the win button, and I hit that, then things progressed. But until I built the meter up, and that's fine maybe once or twice, but every time we got together in a combat situation, it didn't feel like there had any depth to it at all.
Well, and then there was the weird. I feel like they had cool ideas that they just didn't go into enough to make them interesting. Like the idea with having those two separate meters and building your rage bar until you have unlimited strong attacks for a little bit. Well, I guess you get 3 or 4, and then using that to build up this super rage bar and that being your ultimate attack. I like those ideas. It just felt real rinse and repeat. Like. Punch dudes, punch little guys until you get your heavy shot meter up.
What the shit?
Okay.
All right, edit that out.
All right, that's at 17.
How did you? Well, he just ate through my controller cord. While we were.
Are we going to witness a
What controller
canicide?
cord?
Well, the one I use for when I'm playing stuff up here and I'm knocking everything over. Yeah, 360. My
Oh,
Oh.
it's a wired 360 controller.
Oh,
there's
wow.
eh,
That's not annoying. It's a straight through.
no, like yeah, like 2 bites. I caught him. Oh,
He's a
man.
cord assassin.
That's a-
Assassin's cord.
all right.
So I liked the building up the little meter to use that on the big meter. I feel like I would have liked, if it had more of a God of War mix up, sort of, and different moves and stuff. I felt like you sort of had 2 or 3 moves that you just repeated until the bar filled up, and then you hit the bad guy 3 times with the big thing, and then the rage meter went off, and cutscene, QuickTime events, and then chapter is over.
Oh, but the things in the QuickTime events were so cool.
I
You guys didn't even see any of the all right. All right. I think Scott, you played through Wizen.
No, Yasha.
You got all the way up to Yasha.
Mm-hmm.
So that fight with Yasha where you lose your arms. You did that one?
The fight with Yasha almost kept me playing longer because that fight was the first time that I felt like I was playing a video game.
He was
So
was he the
you
mask
did-
guy or the huge dude?
Yeah.
Because
Yasha's
he's the guy
the
with
blue
the
dude.
mask, and he forced me to actually counter him and think about the fight.
Yeah.
And it felt somewhat rewarding actually when I got by him.
So you guys have no idea you get to play as Yasha later in the game.
I saw it on when I was looking through chapter lists or something like that because I pulled it. I'm like, God, how much more of this do I have to play? And it was like 11 more. Nope.
Isn't the point of like getting a valued opinion, like getting through it and then having your evaluation of it instead of just dropping out after eight episodes out of what was it?
Knobs,
13?
that 8 episodes felt so long.
If I was a critical
So-
reviewer,
Oh my God! How
I would
could
say
it feel
yes.
so long? It couldn't have been more than 2 hours.
It probably wasn't, but it was the longest 2 hours.
What?
And I felt like I got
Oh,
everything I needed.
yeah.
The game didn't change between the first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes.
Well,
I
there was some
played.
Star Fox stuff that also became like a chase mode.
But it was so. My biggest complaint, my overarching complaint, is that there was no consequence to anything. It didn't matter. You play that Star Fox mode. It doesn't matter. You're not. I'm shooting stuff, but there's no consequence if I don't shoot it.
It's just to get through it faster.
Yes,
Oh my
but there's
God.
no consequence. It's not like I'm getting
It
through a
doesn't
level.
Play
It's
through
just-
it. Experience the whole story. Come on, like that's such a cop out.
No, it's not a cop
It's a
out. It's a
complete
legitimate
cop-out.
complaint. It's not. It's a legitimate complaint. I wanted this. I would have enjoyed this much more if it were strictly an anime. If I didn't have any sort of controller in my hands, because it felt like it was a really sad excuse for a video game and not quite a put together anime.
See, and I don't know enough
even
about
know the whole story, so
I don't know.
that
that?
just makes your point invalid.
Oh,
It's a story. It's a story-driven game. It's
bitter.
not. I am bitter a little bit because the whole arc of
Yes.
the whole character is amazing.
it is.
And then
And
what
it felt
happens
to
in
me.
the prologue in the Nirvana DLC is even better and crazier.
It felt to me like a poor man's God of War, and I couldn't get invested in his motivation.
What, rescuing a child? That's not motivation enough?
screaming your way out of hell. It
The
seems
premise
rote.
is good. Like I said at the beginning of the show, the premise is good. I enjoy the fact that he's on this revenge mission to get his daughter back. And there's probably a twist in there, I'm assuming, at some point. I kind of got hinted at that maybe she was sort of leading this crew or something, or was responsible for their rise. I don't know, because I didn't finish it. But there wasn't enough for me to motivate me to want to see the end. I just didn't care that much to sit through another 3 or 4 hours of mind-numbingly repetitive Star Fox levels.
Wow.
Or
Wow.
very short brawls. There were those. Chapter 2, I remember, because I wrote it down, there was 56 seconds of gameplay, and I still didn't get through it fast enough for an S rank. 56 seconds was the entirety of that level that you played. Nuts.
Well, apparently it can't fit in Scott's schedule, so.
For me, it wasn't a matter of fitting in my schedule, because I went over 3 nights playing it, and every time I turned it on, I was just frowning the whole time. It seemed like a
Yeah, it
generic
was-
revenge
I
story.
think you guys hate the world. It just amazes me.
You're refusing to hear what I'm saying, I think. Your
Because I
your
don't-
rage,
because I
Asura, is
absolutely-
blinding you.
I absolutely do not understand how that is such a hurdle for people to come over. Like it's so what if it's QuickTime events? They were awesome in what was
They
that
were-
one game? What was
They
that
were
one
awesome,
game?
but I need
Ninja
consequence.
Blade. Everyone hated that game.
In
That game was
which game?
awesome. Ninja Blade.
Oh, okay.
From
I just need
Software.
consequence.
Yeah.
Look, when I put the controller down and nothing changes, why am I playing a video game? You have to explain to me why I'm playing a game then at that point.
Because you're involved in it.
I mean,
doesn't
that's
pull- It doesn't pull me in the way that it pulled you in, apparently. I don't need to press the Y button to feel more involved. It
No,
loses
I
its.
think it does. I think it gives you a certain set of satisfaction.
It doesn't give me. No,
I don't care
you're,
if, that's
you're
like,
missing.
if I'm a fucking mouse.
whoa.
See how I-
23:58.
Mouse.
So angry.
Feeder bar just to get more food. That's what it does to me. I love it.
That's fine, Knobs, but it's
I
not
think
me.
it looked amazing.
It's not
and
me. I need to hit the bar, and I need something to happen. I need a consequence for that bar.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not accusing you of having bad taste or being a bad person because of how much you love this. It just sailed way wide of me. Like, nothing about this is in my wheelhouse, and it didn't seem like there was any hook for me to grab onto to even fight through it.
I think the visuals of that game itself is what drove me to see more of it.
See, I thought the art style was fine but not great, and
wanted to
it wasn't
see
exactly
everything.
pretty.
I was just annoyed by the moments that I had to pick up my controller. I agree with you, Knobs, on all of these points about the visual side of it, and I guess what I'm saying is, if it were an actual movie, I probably would have loved it.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's any scenario in which this would have appealed to me, and it's not its fault. It did
But
what it was supposed to do. But
you
yeah,
are
I can
entirely sorry.
I can
Dave.
see what you're saying about if it were an anime and you could just kind of sit through it, start to finish, why you would like it more. I could see that.
And you're entirely wrong, Knobs, about gameplay, because this is not a video game. There is no gameplay here.
You can put inputs in if you want to. Then why didn't you just sit down and watch it then?
I tried, and then it failed me at a certain point. But it
So
seemed
then that
totally
makes it a game.
arbitrary.
You have the risk of
No, it
fail.
doesn't. It is totally arbitrary. It seemed like where the failure points were. Some of the inputs didn't matter at all, and then there's one magical one that does. And then the best example I've got of this that drove me absolutely insane is the part where you are being crushed by, I don't know the guy's
finger
name.
of God.
The finger.
I called him
finger crush.
I called him Galact-ass because he was fat.
There are giant, or not giant, but there are several QuickTime events that happen in there. That's the scene that I put the controller down. And then his finger crushed me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can die. So I go back and I replay and I put all the QuickTime events in, and it plays virtually the same video.
I did like
Only instead
watching
of
him.
crushing me, it broke the finger. But it was practically the same video.
I liked watching him punch that finger with 6 arms. That was pretty cool. That was pretty rad. Was that where his arms broke off? I still don't quite remember, or
Yes,
don't know if I
that's
understand.
It's where he broke his arms.
Yeah.
Was on Wizen's whatever finger.
Okay, so Wizen's the big dude. Yasha is the mask guy.
Yeah, Yasha's the mask guy. Sergey's the pretty guy. Deus was the electric dude at the end. I can't remember the chick's name. Whatever. But the blind samurai fight on the moon was amazing.
Okay, that actually sounds.
And I
kinda
think
cool.
that probably would have been a more satisfying fight for Scott if he'd have got there.
I was going to say, that sounds pretty cool.
It's amazing.
Sorry, I was looking at chat.
Like, you
I have to
literally
say,
pa-
too, I
you
was a little
literally
annoyed.
Punch a hole through the earth. It's awesome.
And I liked their idea. It just, I saw it and I went, okay, that's an anime thing that they do. They punch through
You guys
worlds.
have just been better playing the demo.
I think I would have. I hate to
At
say it.
least you'd have got to see the blind samurai fight.
Well, maybe I will play the demo, because I deleted it right off my hard drive. Like, this is never going back in. And I feel bad. I wish I could have nice stuff to say. At best, it's a neutral for me.
I do have nice things to say. It was interesting. It just wasn't a video game. I just wish it wasn't a video game. It's a great looking anime.
You did beat Wizen, right, Scott?
Yeah, Wizen was the big guy, right?
Right.
The first guy you take out.
Yes.
After you come back from hell.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you get an achievement for interrupting his monologue?
Yeah, I interrupted him. I didn't know what would happen if you didn't.
Oh yeah, you get I think 2 or 3 of those where you get to totally like shut somebody up.
Yeah, the achievement is just all caps. Shut up, Wizen, because you punched him out of his monologue. That was awesome. I liked that. And more stuff like that. I think, and it's not the game they were trying to make.
There is more stuff like that.
Okay, that I don't have to...
It's like, that's why I'm so frustrated, because, like, you should at least have played through the whole game.
It wore me down. Like,
I tried. Knobs, believe me, I tried, because this game is only 5 hours or 6 hours long. That is certainly short enough to have played in an afternoon. But I think it tells you a lot that I couldn't finish it.
That blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind.
I mean, I was having such a not fun time with it for so long early on that it had little flashes.
What, half hour?
Well, when you do it over 3 nights. That's what my
conclusion is, because it's just like it's not a long game.
It isn't. But here's part of. I'll try to maybe explain Jake's reasoning with my reasoning. The game isn't very long. The chapters, I think, are what make it feel so much longer, because you will go through a chapter and you'll spend 5 minutes completing a chapter. After that chapter ends, there's such a definitive to end, sort of, so to speak, to that chapter, that I put the controller down and I was like, that's enough. That's enough for today.
And then they do the recap at the end of the episode for the stuff you just saw, so when you come back the next time, you don't get the recap. You just get a preview of what's going to happen during this episode, and then once you beat the episode, it gives you a recap of what just happened during the episode.
Now, I like that.
Sometimes there's loading screens mid-boss fight where they repeat what literally happened 10 seconds ago. It just...
What? Mid-boss fight loading screen? What are you talking about?
Like when you go between phases of a boss, it'll reload.
That's where... what, you're talking about the splash screen? Mm-hmm. Like the commercial bumper?
Yeah. Is that what that's supposed to be?
Yes.
I didn't.
It's supposed to be like a TV show.
You're supposed to be playing like an episodic TV show.
Which only deepened my desire to have it be an episodic TV show like Dragon Ball Z. It only reinforced that to me.
See, I thought that was a loading screen where they had to pull up new assets or something, so I didn't understand why mid-chapter they're repeating the stuff that happened 15 seconds ago. It's like, why are you wasting my time with this?
I didn't do a recap there. It just does a still screenshot bumper and then like almost like we're back bumper. It's why everything ended to be continued.
It would have like the preceding 4 or 5 seconds though, whatever couple of lines they said right before it went to the splash screen. They would repeat that. It happened at least twice. It bugged me. It just between all the recapping and then it felt like I wasn't getting anywhere, and I was doing it in such small chunks.
I don't agree with that. I felt like I was making progress. I just didn't care.
I wish
that's not the right way of putting it either. That's not the right way of putting it either. It's not that I didn't care. It's that I was growing increasingly frustrated with the lack of video game in my video game.
And what was there wasn't fun to me. I'm sorry. If it had real cool gameplay, I could have put up with the rest of it.
Why is there a tutorial about 2 or 3 chapters into the game after I already know everything? That kind of bugged me too.
I don't remember a tutorial halfway through the game.
Yeah,
it's not halfway through the game, but you play like this opening bit where they teach you how to do all of the lock-on shots and stuff in the Star Foxy modes, and then they teach you all the combat in the whatever you call that, the beat 'em up type of mode, and then they have an actual tutorial where they teach you about the bars. But they started at ground zero, and I was like, I already know most of this. The bars and stuff, of course, were new, But I was like, why is this tutorial happening now?
Well, that's when I started getting excited. I was like, okay, there's something here I can grab onto. Like in the actual first, when you first hit Gaia and you're duking it out with all the dudes, I thought, okay, this is dumb. I don't like this so far. But then that tutorial came in and I went, okay, there's something for me to grab onto here. There's more facets to the combat. There's levels. There's stuff you got to manage. I could be in on this. And then it was just like, it's kind of like a clicker where you just have to hit A until the meter fills up, and then you use that to fill up more meters. It was disappointing because there's stuff there. There's stuff there to grab you, and it just doesn't seem deep.
The game's a spectacle. Just enjoy the ride.
That's exactly my point, Knobs. It's exactly my point. I wanted to enjoy the ride. I didn't want to press the Y button, and I didn't want to twirl the sticks, and I didn't want to take my left stick and jerk it this way, and I didn't want to jerk my right stick that way.
Well, there you go.
I just do not understand, because I
Shortest
felt all that
recap
stuff
ever.
made me feel involved. All of it made me feel like I was a part of the action.
What about the
I'm
story?
repeating.
Which is partly the reason why I like it. It blows my mind that you don't feel that was even a game.
What
It
about the
wasn't because
story
there's no
grabbed you, Knobs?
consequence. What's the point of making me press a button when that doesn't matter?
To get from start to finish is what's the reason to press the buttons.
What
But it's
grabbed you-
doing that anyway. It's going from start to finish whether I press the button or not. It
But
feels
again,
so
you
worthless.
stopped pressing the buttons, and then you failed, and then you were mad you failed.
No.
because
It didn't fail me right away. It failed me way into it. So in essence, I could have not pressed all of the buttons.
The burst bar is like what your set number of fails are in that bar. Once that bar goes to 0,
This
it's
was
done.
in the cutscenes. This was not
In
with
the
the burst bar.
cutscenes, in the Y buttons, that's where you can fail. That's why you have this. You build up your burst
Not
bar.
all of them.
Set up. Yes, in all of them.
No. That's a big no.
It's a big no. How did it end?
How did what end?
The game. Because I forgot you finished it.
Why are you so hung up on that?
Because
Why do I have to finish it to form an opinion about it?
Because that's how you form an opinion. You judge
come on.
You judge the work as a whole. That's like hating a
Come
movie
on.
that you only saw the trailer for.
Or
it's
you're telling
like
me
eating
somebody
a
who turns off episode 1 halfway through needs to finish it to form an opinion about it's a bad movie?
Or
I don't think so.
Or you eat 3 bites of a terrible steak, and you have to eat the whole steak to say that you didn't like what you ate of the steak?
Oh, meat something different. That's complete. This is it's a visual.
Okay, let me back up here, Knobs. Let me just rephrase what you just said in a way. What is it exactly that Asura's Wrath does in the second half of the game that is different from the first half that would have changed any of my opinions?
Define does the actual game mechanic itself?
Yes. Do we actually play a video game? Meaning, is there
I
more
feel
than
this is- I
2
feel
minutes
this-
of
I feel
hit the
this
B
is why
button?
it's the decisive game, because it isn't your normal game. Like, and
I agree with that.
It's visual driven and story driven than it is your physical inputs into the game, which I don't think detracts from what it was trying to do.
Well, a lot of Telltale games are like that. I mean, it's one that I haven't finished yet, but I really like so far. What was the Fables one? The Wolf Among Us. That's kind of, there's not really a lot that you do per se. You sort of walk from conversation to conversation. But I really liked that story and that world and all that stuff. It grabbed me and made me want to keep playing through it. And I wouldn't say I loved the whole thing, but I liked it enough that I go, yeah, I'll keep playing that. This just is so far out of my wheelhouse that none of it grabbed me. I don't know. Are we done here, guys? Was that
I think
it?
we're done. I don't have much more to go on. I've said my piece about 3 times now.
All right, well, there we go. Shortest game club ever. Next month, we'll probably go a little smoother because it is Max Payne 3. Tied with Jade Empire, so we flipped a coin, and Max Payne 3 won. So there you go.
Yeah. Oh, you get to pull the trigger the whole time.
Oh, it's stupid bullet time and diving
Yeah.
on windows.
It's a win button.
Guys with addiction and chemical dependency issues and deep backstories. Ugh. Where can we find you guys? How about you, Scott?
I am anywhere under the name Nintendork327 except Knob's friends list.
And how about you, John?
I don't know. Just Google JNob33. I'm sure I'm everywhere on that.
Awesome. Well,
Just don't do an image search.
Yes, you might get more than you bargained for.
Yeah, definitely don't make that plural. All right, well, you guys can find me on the Carousel podcast, which is way explicit. We are not a safe for work podcast. We're not talking about knobs and stuff, the man or the item, but we do swear a lot. So you can find us at Carousel Podcast on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter, the other JZ. That's JZEE. And check out the regular show with Mr. Knobs here when he's much happier.
And less
Well,
sweary.
I am happier playing this game. I mean, I love it. I love
Great.
this game.
There's $40 worth of DLC for you to actually finish the game with, too. Go
Not
play that.
Not necessarily.
The,
You really
the
only-
secret,
you-
the actual ending is hidden behind a paywall anyway.
The game actually ends. It has a nice conclusion in the game in the box. If you want to go,
It's
a
just not
step
the real
crazier-
conclusion. It's just not the real ending.
Well,
You'll have to play it to find out, Scott.
it is great.
All right, well, thanks everyone for coming on. Sorry it was a little bit of an unorthodox one. Hopefully we'll have a little nicer conversation next month. So
I think this was the best one we've ever done.
be
It was
sure to visit.
short and heated.
Out of all the ones we've done, this is our most recent.
Be sure to visit the forums and keep checking out our Game Club threads so you can vote and make your suggestions and all that stuff. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next month.
See ya.
Bye.